Imagine two people, 45 years old, stepping up to the exact same retirement starting line. They worked the same job, earned the same salary, and both just quit with exactly $1 million in the bank. Both decide to live on $40,000 a year, adjusted for inflation. They never panic, and they never change their spending. This chart shows how their portfolios look 18 years later. One of our retirees is completely dead broke, eating into Social Security and asking their adult kids for help. The other is sitting on $3 million and worried about estate taxes. They followed the exact same advice. The only difference between them was which year they retired. You've probably heard this advice before. Save 25 times your annual spending, withdraw 4% a year, and you'll be fine forever. The Financial Independence Retire Early, or FIRE community, treats this 4% rule like an absolute law of physics. But for anyone planning to quit their job before age 50, that famous number is broken. To actually survive early retirement, we have to forensically audit the math and see where this rule came from. Let's go back to the source. In 1994, a financial planner named William Bengen got tired of guessing how much his clients could spend. So he pulled decades of historical market data and ran a simulation to find a starting withdrawal rate that survived every single 30-year retirement window. He didn't test against average years, he tested against the worst economic disasters in modern history. If a client retired in 1929, their portfolio had to survive the Great Depression. If they retired in 1966, the math had to carry them through the brutal stagflation and rationing of the 1970s oil crises. Bengen kept lowering the withdrawal rate until he found the number that survived the absolute worst-case scenario. That number was 4.15%, which he later rounded to 4. But there is a critical missing variable here. Bengen explicitly engineered his test for a 65-year-old looking at a 30-year lifespan. He did not design it for a 42-year-old saver staring down a 50-year horizon. When you stretch that simulation past 30 years, the math quietly stops working. Extended to a 50-year early retirement, a 4% withdrawal rate fails about 10% of the time. 1 in 10 retirees runs completely out of money. The main threat causing those failures is something called sequence of returns risk. If the stock market averages 8%, you'd assume it doesn't matter what order those returns come in. But if you are actively selling shares to pay rent during a down market, those specific shares are permanently destroyed. They never get to participate in the eventual recovery. This is what happened to our first bankrupt retiree. She retired in 2000, and her portfolio was immediately slashed by the dot-com crash. She was drawing out cash at the exact wrong time, burning capital so fast the recovery couldn't dig her out. Our wealthy retiree started the exact same plan in 2009, right after a crash. His portfolio got to ride an 11-year bull market right out of the gate, building up a massive cushion of compound interest. Researchers call this the retirement risk zone. It is roughly the first 10 years after you stop working. A bad market in that specific window can irrevocably destroy a portfolio you spent 3 decades building. Applying a 30-year answer to a 50-year problem is dangerous math. Fortunately, there are 3 actionable ways to fix it. The first tool is to simply lower your starting withdrawal rate. To get Bengen's original level of safety over a 50-year timeline, you need to target somewhere between 3.3 and 3.5%. That means saving closer to 30 times your annual spending, not 25. The second tool is dynamic spending. You don't lock in a single percentage forever. Instead, you build guardrails.